Hello everybody and welcome into the stream tonight. My name is Craig and I'm happy to have you here for another exciting night. Well, I hope it's exciting night of the RNL in our 2015 randomized Nuz League. Happy opening day to all you Strat-O-Matic fans out there, and wish I could have been out there in Glen Head with you guys. If anybody was out there, let me know in the comments. That's pretty cool. I saw a lot of Strat-O-Matic Delaware's videos today. That looked like it was a fun time. So shout out to him for making the trip. Him and his, I think it was his brother. Was it his brother, Rob? I think it was. That looked like a fun time to be at. One of these days I might make it out there. I was talking to Tenacious Earl tonight, or I guess I should say today, and we were talking about the play.com convention, and guess what? That's going to be here in Denver later on this summer, so I'm definitely going to make it out to that one. I would be remiss if I didn't. It's in my backyard. It's seriously about 15 minutes from where I work, so I don't have any excuses to make that one. But tonight we are here for some baseball, and we move over to the AL. This will be the first game in game day 15 in the AL. We will have the Boston Soul Rocks, who sit in second place at 9-4. They are tied on record with Texas at 9-4, only trailing them by 7 runs in the run differential category. So Boston definitely in the running for that championship series, and they travel to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Oricorios. Baltimore in their last game lost a tough one to Chicago, 6-4 in Chicago. Chicago's suddenly hot. They've won 6 in a row, and Baltimore is headed the other direction, having lost 3 in a row. Looking to get back on track tonight is Baltimore. No injuries for either of these teams. And we've got a pitching matchup of some back of the rotation guys, and we'll see which one can last longer. It will be Josh Tomlin for Baltimore, and let me get his numbers for you. Tomlin has had 2 starts. He's gone 13 2/3 innings. He does have a win. He's given up 7 hits, and 4 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and 4 walks. That's a pretty good ERA. It's a 2.65 ERA with a whip of 0.81. So not too bad for Tomlin. And here's the dangerous lineup for Boston that he will face tonight. Boston with their regulars out there. It's Dexter Fowler leading off. He's been hitting pretty well, 365 so far. The pair of doubles, a pair of triples, and a pair of homers, and 6 RBI. He also has 3 stolen bases, which leads the team. Jose Altuve is hitting behind him. Altuve's at 341, so the top of the order guys are getting it done. Jose Altuve has 5 doubles, 4 home runs, and 14 runs batted in, which leads the team. Joe Panic is the DH. Yes, you heard me right. Joe Panic, the DH. And you'll laugh until you hear his batting average. It's at 426 right now. Yeah, Joe Panic. Little Joe Panic is the DH, and his 426 batting average, which is second in the AL, only behind Eric Ibar of Toronto. Joe Panic, you might think, okay, well, he's getting on base, but is he doing anything? Well, he's had 6 doubles, 3 triples, a homer, and 8 RBI, so he's been hitting pretty well. Chris Davis now is the cleanup batter. Davis, on the other hand, has been struggling. He's hitting 185 right now. He does have 3 bombs, but 21 strikeouts for the big power hitter, and not much better behind him. Luis Valbuena is hitting 190 with no home runs yet and 2 RBIs. In the 6th spot, Paulo Orlando has been hitting well. He's at 311. Whoa. Hitting 4 doubles, 2 triples, no homers yet, but he does have 8 RBI. Cameron Rupp is catching today. Boston has the luxury of having 3 catchers, and all of them are pretty good. We've got Brian Pena, the switch hitter, Cameron Rupp, who's a righty, and Stephen Vogt, who hits lefty. So they've got a lot of options to be able to pinch hit in later innings, and knowing they have three catchers. Rasmus has been hitting the best out of all of them. Rupp has been hitting the best out of all of them. 10 of 28 with 3 doubles, 2 triples for the catcher Rupp, and 2 homers. Colby Rasmus keeps dropping and dropping in the order. He's at 224 for his batting average. He only has 1 homer. I guess he does have 9 RBI, though. Jordy Mercer is the shortstop, and he rounds out the order in the 9th spot. And he is hitting a solid 6 for 24 so far with no extra base hits. So that's how we line up tonight. Looking forward to this game. Al, Red Sox fan, checking in, and I wonder, Al, Boston's playing. Are you cheering for Boston tonight? I imagine you would be. So Josh Tomlin is ready to roll, and he will face Dexter Fowler, Jose Altuve, and Joe Panik to start the first inning. I will say before we get started here, and maybe I'll say it again once more people show up, but I'm going to have to step away. I'm not sure why it keeps on dropping the sound, but we're back. We only missed one play, and what we saw happen was Dexter Fowler flying out to center field where Jacoby Ellsbury is patrolling for Baltimore against Boston, and he makes the play. I'm glad that happened early tonight so that we can get the audio situation fixed early on. Thank you for shouting at me. So thanks, Al Red Sox fan, for that. Jose Altuve now with 1 out. And Jerry Ball checking in. And it's a 5-7. And this could be a base hit. A 1-9, and it's a double. And it's not going to be a double. It's going to be caught. Lorenzo Cain, who makes headway out there and with his good speed is able to make the catch. Jerry Ball is rooting for Boston as well. So 2 outs now. Joe Panik is up. Panik, he bounces one to short. Tim Beckham grabs it off a hop and wings it to first. And it's a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the first for Boston. Al says, I shout because I love, as my dad would say. That's true, right? Happy Strat opening day to you, Jerry Ball. And to all you watching as well. So, John Lamb is the pitcher for Boston. If you haven't heard of him, well, you and me both before this replay. John Lamb has, he's actually not been too bad this season for Baltimore. He had 1 start, and if I can find his stats, I'll tell you how good it was. For Boston, John Lamb, he went a full 9 innings. He got the win, gave up 7 hits with it was a 7-hit shutout. No earned runs, 9 strikeouts with no walks. So, excuse me, Mr. Lamb. And we'll see if he can continue that here against Baltimore. And this will be the lineup that he faces for Baltimore. It will be Ben Revere leading off and playing left field. He's hitting .321 with a pair of doubles and a triple. He does have a stolen base as well. Ian Kinsler is the second baseman. He's at 222 with 2 doubles, 2 triples, and a homer himself. Daniel Murphy is the left-handed third baseman. And Daniel Murphy is hitting 222 as well. That's 12 of 54 for both Kinsler and Murphy. Both of them have a pair of doubles and a home run. Lorenzo Cain is the batter at cleanup, and he's in right field as we just saw. He's at 280 right now with 3 doubles and a homer. Not a lot of power on this Baltimore team. They could use some guys to start breaking out, and one of those guys they could use breaking out is Chris Carter. He's at 277. He's got 4 doubles, but only 1 long ball right now, and he struck out a total of 20 times. Lucas Duda is the 6th spot batter. He's playing first base. Lucas Duda is hitting 256 with 3 doubles, and he's tied for the team lead with 3 homers. He does have the lead in RBI at 10. A.J. Ellis is catching. He's in the 7th spot. He's just a tick under 200 at 195. He's got a pair of doubles and an RBI. Jacoby Ellsbury is the center fielder. Ellsbury is 5 for 25 on the season. His only extra base hit is a double. He does have 3 stolen bases, though. Tim Beckham is the shortstop, and he's hitting 286 from that spot. And would you believe it, he's tied with the team lead at 3 home runs. So that's how Baltimore will line up to face the lefty, John Lamb. John Lamb's card is not all that great. He's a 1-5 record with a 5.80 ERA. So we'll see if that shutout in his last game was an anomaly. I'm guessing it was, but you never know. And Ben Revere is now ready to face him. And he hits one to the shortstop. That's Jordy Mercer. Mercer makes a nice routine, easy play and throws him out at first. Just getting underway here from Baltimore on the RNGIDP channel. I'm Craig, happy to have you here with me. We've got the live chat rolling. Jerry and Al holding it down in there. If you're here, say hi. I'd love to know that you're here. Ian Kinsler now, and he hits one to the left side again. This time it'll be Valbuena. He makes the pick and fires it across the diamond, and there's 2 quickly gone. Daniel Murphy now with 2 outs, nobody aboard, and the lefty against lefty. This one's hit to the shortstop, Mercer, and Mercer's going to have to make a tough play. He's a 3-range shortstop. A 310 is going to his E rating, which is a 10 as well. E10, and we rolled an 8. So Jordy Mercer is going to make the play. He fires from the outfield grass, and he gets his man, Daniel Murphy, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. All 3 ground outs to the left side of the infield, and John Lamb continues his shutout streak. And we're through 1 now. It's Tomlin to face the 4, 5, 6 batters of Davis, Valbuena, and Orlando. Al Red Sox fan says, I'm going to play my Italian-American Red Sox versus the 61 Yanks in Strat while I watch and listen. All right. Check out Al's channel. He does a good job over there. Tomlin against the lefty Davis. And this one's lifted to center field. And Jacoby Ellsbury is going to have a chance to make the play. He is a 2-range center fielder. A 2.9. It is going to go to his E rating. He's an E0, so I guess I don't even need to roll. That's going to be a nice play for the sure-handed center fielder, Jacoby Ellsbury. And there's 1 away. Luis Valbuena now. Valbuena looking to get that average out of the dumps. And this is against the righty. And that's not going to help. That's going to be a strikeout. The first one of the day for Tomlin. And that's 2 outs here in the top of the 2nd. Paulo Orlando's been hitting pretty well. And we'll see what he can do against Tomlin with 2 outs here. And he swings and misses, so that's back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. And we move to the bottom half of the second, it's a 0-0 ball game here. Boston have scored 86 runs on the season. That's a lot. If you look at Texas, who's second in runs scored, they're first in the AL in the standings, but in runs scored, they're second. They only have 73 runs, and then it drops way off from there. Toronto have scored 67, and they're in third. Ken Castro, welcome into the stream. Happy that you're here with me. And now, Lorenzo Cain will lead off the bottom of the second, followed by Carter and Duda against the lefty, John Lamb. And this one is flied. I guess you would say flied, right? Flied out to right field, where Paulo Orlando is the right fielder today. He is a 2-range right fielder, a 210. That's going to his E rating. He's an E10, and we rolled a 3, so this is going to be a tough chance. An E10 with a 3, and it's going to get past Paulo Orlando, and Lorenzo Cain is speedy, and he's going to end up on second with an E9. So a 2-base error for the opposite number of Cain, and Lorenzo Cain ends up at second on the error with nobody out. So now Chris Carter is due up, and for him it's either a hit or a strikeout. That's kind of the way he works. And against the lefty, this is a strikeout. Well, I didn't mean to jinx him there, but he strikes out. It's just kind of what he does. And now it's up to Lucas Duda against a lefty. Duda's got a lot of strikeouts against lefties on that card, but he also has a few black ink on that 1 column. This will be in the 3 column, and he hits this one to the pitcher. He looks Cain back to first, and Duda, busting it up the line, is going to pull up Lamb. Lamb throws him out, but Duda, it looks like he might be injured. And let's see if he's going to have to come out of the ball game. He is, and that's going to be a 2-game injury for Lucas Duda. So Duda hobbles off with the trainer's help, and now we're going to have to find a new first baseman. And so Nick Swisher will take Duda's spot in the order. He'll come up to bat next time for Duda. Swisher is a swish hitter, and he'll play first base. So a straight up swap, first base for first base. There's 2 down now with the man on second. That's Lorenzo Cain, who reached on a 2-base error. And A.J. Ellis now looking to drive home the run against the lefty, John Lamb. And that's going to be a strikeout for A.J. Ellis. So 2 strikeouts in the inning. And after the leadoff error, Lamb retires them all 3 in a row. And we move to the top of the third. It's a scoreless ball game. John Lamb continues to put up zeros. And Josh Tomlin will look to keep his streak rolling. He has the 7, 8, 9 batters of Rupp, Rasmus, and Mercer due up. Al, did you see Chris Strat-O-Matic Delaware's videos from opening day? I know you're talking to Al, Ken, but I just mentioned that I saw him too, and it looked like they were having a hoot on their road trip. It was pretty cool to see that. So Josh Tomlin pitched to Cameron Rupp, and it's a 2-6, and Cameron Rupp is caught looking. That's 3 in a row, sat down by strikeouts for Tomlin. That'll be the first out here in the top of the third. Now the struggling Colby Rasmus at the plate. And that one's not going to be struggling. Colby Rasmus gets a hold of it. Will it go? And it will. Colby Rasmus with a lefty on righty home run. A solo shot here to open the scoring for Boston. Colby Rasmus and his wispy beard round third, and this is a 1-0 ball game. Colby Rasmus with a solo shot. And now it's Jordy Mercer with 1 out. Mercer. And he just misses it, putting it in the gap. That would have been a triple, but this is going to be a fly ball that's caught by Lorenzo Cain out there patrolling the right field, and he makes a nice play. No, Ken, you don't have to be sorry about that. I was just mentioning that, yeah, Strat-O-Matic Delaware, he looked like a lot of fun what he was doing. Dexter Fowler now, 2 outs. Nobody on. This is a 6-8, and Dexter Fowler is a strikeout victim as well. And there's 3 outs, but not before Boston gets on the board with a solo shot from Colby Rasmus in the 8th spot in the order. And maybe that's what ignites the fire for Colby Rasmus. He's been struggling all season, and I believe, let me double check. I think that might be his... No, I thought it was his first home run. That's his 2nd home run of the game, or of the season, excuse me. And now, Jacoby Ellsbury will lead off for Baltimore against Boston. John Lamb is the pitcher. And this is this one's hit well. Jacoby Ellsbury gets a hold of this one. He takes it for a ride, and it stays in the park, bounces up against the wall, and Jacoby Ellsbury is going to be at second, standing up easily. And he has got a leadoff double here to start the bottom of the 3rd. So Boston opened the door with the scoring in the top half. Will Baltimore be the answer here in the bottom? This is Tim Beckham. And Tim Beckham bounces one to first. And that's Chris Davis's position. Davis makes a dive for it. He's a first base 2. We rolled an 18, so he makes a dive for it. He looks to second. Ellsbury, he doesn't break for 3rd. And Davis is going to be able to toss it over to first base where Lamb is covering. And there's 1 away. Ben Revere now with a man on second. He grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. And this time he hits one to second. You know what? Actually, yeah, he hits one to second. And he's the second baseman, Altuve, is going to make the play, but Ellsbury got a good jump, and he advances to 3rd. And so now with 2 outs, Ellsbury stands 90 feet away. And it'll be up to Ian Kinsler to make the play, to drive home the run. Kinsler grounded out to the 3rd baseman, Valbuena, his last time. And he sees the pitch, and it catches the outside corner. And that'll be a strikeout to end the threat and strand Ellsbury 90 feet away. That's the 3rd strikeout for Lamb. And he gets through 3 cleanless. It's a 1-0 ball game. Boston on top of Baltimore here early on the RNGIDP channel. Just starting game 1 of game day 15 in the AL. Boston looking to make their push. Between them and Texas, they've kind of flip-flopped up and down in that first spot. And why that's so important is because the number 1 team in each league will advance to the championship series to play each other for all the bragging rights. So you gotta win the league, and Texas and Boston are fighting for that honor at the halfway point here. So Tomlin will face Altuve, Panik, and Davis here to start the 4th. And against the righty Altuve, this one is popped up out into left field. The left fielder, Ben Revere, has a beat on it, and he'll make the play. 1 out. No love lost for Jacoby Ellsbury in the chat. All these New Englanders letting them have it. Joe Panic now. He's 0 for 1 on the day. And this is a 4-6. This one's hit back out to Revere and left. And the same result. That one's a catch, and it's 2 away. So Chris Davis, he flew out to center his first time up. And he draws a walk this time. So Chris Davis with a 2-out walk. And now it'll be Valbuena. Valbuena started a string of 3 straight that had struck out against Tomlin. He's 0 for 1. And this one is hit out into right field. Lorenzo Cain barely has to move, squeezes the glove, and Tomlin doesn't get hurt by that 2-out walk. And it's still a 1-0 ball game as we move to the bottom of the 4th. John Lamb will come out to face the 3-4-5 batters of Murphy, Kane, and Carter. Murphy grounded out to short his first time up. This time lefty on lefty. This one's a solid single straight through the middle. And the leadoff man, Daniel Murphy, is aboard. That's only the second hit against John Lamb on the day. Gave up a double in the last inning for Jacoby Ellsbury. Made it to third and couldn't score. And now Lorenzo Cain looking to push Murphy. And this is a 4-7. That has a chance at a single. It's going to be hit to third. Valbuena makes a nice pick. On to second to Altuve, who turns and fires it to the first baseman, Davis. And that is an unlikely 5-4-3 double play. And erases the base runner, Murphy. And I didn't think Valbuena was going to get to that ball, but he made a nice pick on a tough hop. Made a strong throw to Altuve, who jumped over the runner, Murphy, and a strong throw on to Davis. And it's a 5-4-3 double play. And now Chris Carter with the bases empty. And Chris Carter draws a walk. So a strikeout and a walk for Chris Carter on the day. And we'll see Nick Swisher for the first time. The switch hitter steps in from the right-hand side. And the first at-bat for him will... It's in his good column there. Oh, he gets a hold of it. It is going to be short of the wall, but it's going to bounce around. And that will be a double. Chris Carter with 2 outs, got a jump, but will he be able to score? Will they send him? Let's take a look. Chris Carter is a 1-11 runner. With 2 outs, he becomes a 1-13. He was not being held, so that's a 1-14. Out in center field is, let's take a look at Fowler's arm. He's a 0 arm, so it's a 1-14 that Carter would score from first. He's going to make a run for it. When that big boy, that train gets him moving, it's hard to stop him. And he runs, and he will score. So Chris Carter scores from first on a double from Nick Swisher. And we've got a tie ball game here in the bottom of the 4th. Nick Swisher drives in the run in his first at-bat of the game with an RBI double. There's 2 outs, and the 2-out walk comes back to hurt John Lamb there. And it'll be A.J. Ellis now. 2-12. This one's a single to left field. Nick Swisher trying to pick up the sign if he'll get sent. Swisher, he's a 1-8 runner. He was not being held, so it's a 1-9 plus 2. It's a 1-11. The left fielder is Rasmus, who's a -1. So what did I say it was? A 1-8, 1-9, 1-11. So it's a 1-10. Will they send Swisher? No, Swisher's going to pull up. Swisher's going to pull up at third, and so there's runners on the corners with 2 outs. Jacoby Ellsbury is the man at the plate. He doubled his first time up. Will he be able to drive in the run here? The catcher, Cameron Rupp, goes out and talks to John Lamb at the mound, telling him to calm down. We just got to get out of this inning. There's 2 outs. We got 2 quick outs on the double play, and now 3 straight have reached a walk, a double, and now a single. And Jacoby Ellsbury at the plate. And he sees the pitch, and that one misses, and it walks Jacoby Ellsbury. So John Lamb kind of falling apart here. That pushes Ellis to second. At Swisher's at third. And Tim Beckham will be the batter. Beckham with the bases loaded. He's the 9th man in the order. And will they let John Lamb continue here? He's kind of falling apart here in the bottom of the 4th. He's given up 1 run, but they threaten for more. The bases loaded with Tim Beckham up to the plate. They are going to let Lamb try and get out of here. And this one is a 1-7. And it's a 1-11 chance for an RBI single. And that's a 14, so the grounder goes to third. Valbuena makes another fine play. And his only play is going to be able to throw it to first. And he gets him just in time to save a run and get John Lamb out of the inning with only 1 run given up. Whew. That, you could say that inning went in like a lion and out like a lamb, maybe? Maybe that was a stretch. I'm sorry. As we move to the top of the 5th, if you like those jokes, and why would you? Let me tell you about my other venture. That's the Rank 'em Up podcast. You'll hear plenty of bad puns and terrible jokes like that. And much to the chagrin of my co-hosts, Lilo and Don. We've ranked all kinds of stuff. We take a topic, we rank our top 5 of those topics and argue and make bad jokes and talk about it. We've ranked summer drinks. We've ranked dog breeds, songs that get stuck in our heads, all kinds of good stuff. If that sounds good to you, check us out on Twitter at RankEmUp or on your favorite podcast app. So we go to the top of the 5th. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 batters of Paulo Orlando, Cameron Rupp, and Colby Rasmus to face Josh Tomlin. Lamb should have drilled Doughboy Ellsbury. Maybe. they want blood here against Ellsbury. Tomlin pitches to Orlando, and he flies one out to left. Ben Revere has been busy today out in left field, and he makes another play, and there's one quickly away. Cameron Rupp, he struck out his first time. And this time he hits one, guess who? Out to Ben Revere. Revere squeezes it, fires it back into the shortstop, the cutoff man, and it's too quickly away. And now it's Colby Rasmus who hit a home run his last time up, a solo shot. And this time he doesn't get any kind of pitches to hit. Tomlin's not trying to mess with Rasmus anymore, and he delivers a 2-out walk. Jordy Mercer now. He flied out to the right fielder, Kane, his first time up. And this time he'll dribble one softly over to the second baseman, Kinsler, who has to charge hard at it. And he takes it on a short, ugly hop. But he's able to make the throw, and this will get Baltimore out of the top of the 5th. It's a 1-1 ball game. And we move to the bottom of the 5th. And it will be, We're back to the top of the order for John Lamb. It's Ben Revere, Ian Kinsler, and Daniel Murphy. The lefty struggled in the last half inning. And now it is the 5th, which is also his inning of weakness inning. So if it goes like last inning, he will reach his weakness point. And now Ben Revere, who is 0 for 2 today against the lefty, dribbles one to short. Jordy Mercer is going to get Revere again, and there's one out. Al Red Sox fan is playing his game simultaneously, and I see the name Gaetti. And boy, I haven't seen that name in a while. Gary Gaetti. That brings back memories. Ian Kinsler, 0 for 2. And he's going to be 0 for 3 as he lifts this one out to left field. Colby Rasmus is camped underneath it, and he catches it for the second out. And now Daniel Murphy. The trouble started last inning with 2 outs. Will Daniel Murphy be able to repeat the feat? This is a fly ball, harmless, out to center field. Dexter Fowler strolling out there underneath it, and he will catch it easily. And the 5th inning goes quickly and uneventedly. I guess I think I just invented a word. Without event. And Josh Tomlin comes back out for the 6th, and he'll face the top of the order and Fowler, Altuve, and Panic. Gaetti had a cup of coffee with the Sox. You know, I don't remember him with the Sox at all, actually. I know he played for just about every team in the league, but I don't remember him as a Bo Sox. Josh Tomlin against Fowler, who's 0 for 2 against him today. And this will make it 0 for 3 as he lifts one out to center. Jacoby Ellsbury, the live chat's favorite player, makes the play. Adds a little flair just for the boos he hears from the chat. Altuve is 0 for 2. And then not this time. He gets a hold of this one. It's going to be hit out to center field, and it will drop in front for a single. Ellsbury gets to it quickly and fires it back in, keeping Altuve only to a single. And Altuve is aboard. Sorry, I had to cough there for a second. Altuve is a AA stealer. A.J. Ellis, the catcher, is a -2 arm. So they are holding Altuve. That'll make it a 1-15 and a 1-13 if he tries to steal. He's not going to. Joe Panic is at the plate, and he lifts one to center. And guess who is out there? Jacoby Ellsbury. And he nonchalantly runs over. Well, you could say runs over, but he strolls over with confidence, and he makes the catch. And now there's 2 away. And Chris Davis is at the plate. And it's a 1-13 for Altuve to steal, and he's getting a little itchy over there. So Altuve, he gets his lead. And he takes off, a 1-13, and it's a stolen base. And no, A.J. Ellis guns him down at second. And that will be the 3rd out. Altuve caught stealing. And so Chris Davis will lead off the top of the 6th. And that will end the threat here in the 6th, or excuse me, the top of the 7th. Altuve trying to steal second to get in scoring position for Davis. Gets thrown out by Ellis. And that ends the top of the 6th. So John Lamb will face Lorenzo Cain, Chris Carter, and Lucas Duda here in the bottom of the 6th. The boos continue to rain every time Ellsbury makes a play. And Lorenzo Cain, he'll swing and miss, and that's a strikeout. That'll be the 4th tally for Lamb on the day. And now Chris Carter, he's walked and scored a run. scored the only run for Baltimore, and he struck out. And he will bounce one back to Lamb. Lamb is a 3-range pitcher. A 3.9 is going to go to his E rating. He's an E0. So Lamb, it bounces back off his glove, but the slow-running Carter gives him plenty of chance to pick it back up and toss it over to first. And that's 2 away. Nick Swisher, he drove in the only run for Baltimore, an RBI double back in the 4th. And here he is to face Lamb for the 2nd time, and not so good this time. He swings right through a pitch, and that is the 5th strikeout for Lamb, and we are through 6. It's a 1-1 ball game. This game moving quickly. Boston and their vaunted offense haven't really showed up yet. And they've got a total of 2 hits. Rasmus with the solo homer, and Altuve in the last inning, he got a single, but he was erased on a stolen base attempt. And now it's up to Chris Davis, who was at bat for the stolen base, but he's up again. Chris Davis, Valbuena, and Paulo Orlando. So Davis against Tomlin. And this one is dribbled out to the second baseman, Kinsler. Kinsler puts it in his pocket, takes a trip around the diamond, and he still has enough time to get Chris Davis at first. Luis Valbuena, the lefty, is 0 for 2 today. And that'll make it 0 for 3 as he swings and misses. That's his 2nd strikeout on the day. That's 5 for Tomlin. And there's 2 away. Paulo Orlando's 0 for 2. Tomlin's making quick work here of these Boston hitters. And this one's hit to the shortstop, Tim Beckham. And Beckham makes a nice charging play, grabs it on a couple of hops, fires it to first, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Tomlin. Josh Tomlin's been impressive so far for Baltimore, giving them just what they needed. Baltimore, they've scored 47 runs, not terrible, kind of middle of the pack. They've given up 55 though, which, you know, is not terrible. It's right in the middle of the pack, which is probably why they're right in the middle of the standings at 7th. They have a -8 run differential. They're only 2 games back of those leaders though, so they still have a shot. And given that they've lost 3 in a row, still being only 2 games back is pretty good. A.J. Ellis, Jacoby Ellsbury. I'm waiting for the boos. And Tim Beckham will be the probable hitters here in the bottom of the 7th. After the stretch, John Lamb to face this crew. And A.J. Ellis reaches on a walk. That's the 2nd time he's been on base today. He singled his last time and struck out in the in the 2nd inning. And now it's Jacoby Ellsbury. Everybody's favorite player, Jacoby Ellsbury, has been on base twice. He doubled in the 3rd and walked in the 4th. And here in the 7th, this is a 3-7. This one is lifted out to center field. Dexter Fowler has a read on it, and he makes the play. A.J. Ellis is stuck at first. 1 out now, and Tim Beckham, the batter. Beckham is 0 for 2. And this is the good column for Beckham. And Tim Beckham, he has the team lead he's tied with the team lead at 3 homers. A 1-18, and he'll take it outright. A 19-20, and it's a triple. And this one is hit way deep out to center field. Tim Beckham, a 2-run shot from the shortstop, Tim Beckham. Power from the 9th spot in the order. And Baltimore takes a 3-1 lead on a 2-run shot from Tim Beckham. Tim Beckham, I got to look at the back of his card. He can't have that many home runs on there. And so far, he's hit 4 in this season. Let me look at this. He's got 9 home runs total on his card. And so far, this is the 14th game for Baltimore, he has 4 home runs. So Tim Beckham squares one up and gives Baltimore the lead. And now it'll be Ben Revere. He's 0 for 3 today. And he draws a walk. So John Lamb, he may not make it out of the 7th here. He's got Ian Kinsler with 1 out. Revere at first. Let's take a look at the bullpen. The bullpen is not great for Boston. They've got Bo Schultz and Chaz Rowe from the right-hand side. Apart from their closer, that's about it. Jared Jeffress is their closer. They've got lefties Mark Marksbury, Justin Wilson, and Thompson. For Kinsler, you know what? I think they're going to bring out Chaz Rowe. He's been busy this season, but he's going to come in to try and get these next 2 outs. So Chaz Rowe, you never trust a guy named Chaz, but Boston is relying on him here. And Chaz Rowe will come into the ball game. He's pitched in 8 2/3 innings. He's got a save on the season. He's given up 13 hits, only 1 earned run. He's got 6 strikeouts and 2 walks. So Chaz Rowe will make his way out from the bullpen, and there's a call, and Chaz Rowe will come in to face Ian Kinsler. Here in the bottom of the 7th, John Lamb didn't pitch terribly. He made it through 6 1/3. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits is all. He struck out a total of 5 batters. And how many did he walk? He walked 1, 2, 3, 4 walks. And so Ian Kinsler, who's 0 for 3 on the day, will face the righty now, Chaz Rowe. And this is a 110 and a 110. He gets under this one. It's going to be a pop-up to the third baseman. And Valbuena will squeeze it. And there's 2 away. So Chaz Rowe now faces Daniel Murphy. And yes, I'm going to say it like that every time. I just have to. I'm sorry, but it just has to be that way. And Daniel Murphy, he fouls one over to the first base side. And that is Chris Davis. And he makes the catch in foul ground. And so Chaz Rowe gets out of the inning without giving up any more runs. But there was a big 2-run shot from the diminutive Tim Beckham, who drove in A.J. Ellis, who walked to lead off the inning. And now it's a 3-1 ball game as we move to the 8th. That'll close the book on Lamb. He gives up 3 runs, all of them earned. Lamb chops and Silence of the Lambs. See, now you guys are contributing to my punniness, and I appreciate this. Thank you. It's taken, what is this, 208 games, and finally, you guys are contributing to my delinquency here. Cameron Rupp now, 0 for 2 on the day, will face Josh Tomlin, or will he? They may go straight up switch here and bring in the left-handed catcher of Stephen Vogt. I think they will do that. Stephen Vogt is going to pinch hit for Cameron Rupp here. They're going lefty-righty matchup. And so Stephen Vogt will come in to pinch hit, and he will catch as well. So lefty on righty against Tomlin here. And this is a 2-4. This is a catcher's X card. And the catcher for Baltimore is A.J. Ellis, who is a 3-range catcher. A 311. Whoa. Is going to go to his E rating. He's an E2. And we rolled an 11. An E2, 11. And so Vogt dribbles one out in front of the plate. A.J. Ellis pops out of his crouch, makes the play, and he fires it down to first, but it's wild. And Stephen Vogt will be on base with an E2. Ellis got to that ball quickly, but made an errant throw. Vogt was kind of running up the line, blocking his view legally. But he throws it away, and now Vogt is at first. Colby Rasmus now with the 2-run homer earlier, and he's walked. And this is the 3rd time he's facing Josh Tomlin. And the 3rd time is a charm for Tomlin as he gets him to swing and miss, and that's a strikeout. 6th one of the day so far for Tomlin. 1 out here now, and it'll be up to Jordy Mercer. Mercer is 0 for 2 against him, and this one is lifted to left field. We know that's Ben Revere, and he's on his horse, is Revere. And he makes a nice riding catch out in left field. And Dexter Fowler now, the center fielder, is 0 for 3 today against Tomlin. And this one's a 4-9. And so Dexter Fowler puts a little poke into this one. It's a ballpark chance home run. He's from the left-hand side. So that's going to be a 1-18 that it's a homer. And it is an 18, so it just scrapes the wall and gets over. Dexter Fowler with a 2-run shot with 2 outs. And oh boy, we got ourselves a ball game again. Boston comes up big. Stephen Vogt reached on an error and comes home on the 2-run shot from Dexter Fowler. That'll be an unearned run on the run for Vogt. But 2 RBIs is all the same for Fowler. And it's a 3-3 ball game. Tomlin had been rolling. That's only the 3rd hit given up by Tomlin. 2 of those have been homers. And now, Jose Altuve with 2 outs. So 2 outs, and Altuve, the man, up to the plate. And, oh, Altuve gets a hold of one. Will it be back-to-back shots? Altuve, this one is going to be a little more difficult on 1-11. And it's going to die out there in left field. Altuve put a charge into it, but Revere tracks it down. And, whew. Boston almost took the lead there, but it will go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a tie ball game, 3-3. So Chaz Rowe will come back out, and he will face the likes of Lorenzo Cain, Chris Carter, and the first baseman, Nick Swisher. Rowe made quick work with men on base of Kinsler and Murphy. And now he faces Cain. And Cain hits one out to left field. Rasmus is going to have to get on his horse here to make a play. And he does. That'll be a fly out to left for the first out. Colby Rasmus didn't really get a good read off the play to start, and made up some ground with his good speed, and he makes the catch. And now Chris Carter against Chaz Rowe. And this is a 3-5, so Chris Carter doing Chris Carter things again, and he strikes out. That'll be the first strikeout for Rowe. And there's two quickly away. So Nick Swisher, he's got an RBI on the day. He's 1 for 2, also struck out, and here he is with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, and he will strike out again. So Chaz Rowe doing work here and keeping Boston in this thing. And we move to the 9th. It's a 3-3 ball game. And will Josh Tomlin get the chance? He will not. They're going to call the bullpen. Baltimore finally going to their bullpen. And they will get a lefty with 3 straight lefties up for Boston. They're going to bring in Brad Hand. B-Rad Hand will make the appearance for Baltimore, taking over for Josh Tomlin. Tomlin, he goes 8 innings. A good start for him. He gave up, as I mentioned, I think that's only 3 hits. And yes, 3 hits, but 3 runs on those 3 hits. He struck out 6, and he walked 2 batters. So give Tomlin a hand, and Brad takes over here in the 9th, facing Panic the DH, Chris Davis, and Luis Valbuena. Davis and Valbuena are the 2 that have struggled the most so far this season. And Hand leads off the appearance with a walk, lefty on lefty, to Joe Panic. So Chris Davis, he's 0 for 2 with a walk. Would they replace Chris Davis right now? I don't believe we have any other first baseman. Valbuena could play first, but we may replace him also. Looking at my... Well, Vogt could play first as well. I think you have to let Chris Davis bat here. Of the 2, Davis more than Valbuena. So Davis is going to hit. It's a 5-7, and oh no, this one is hit to Kinsler. Kinsler turns and fires to Beckham. Beckham back to Swisher, and it's a 4-6-3 double play. So the leadoff runner gets on via a walk, and then he's erased with a double play. And now Luis Valbuena, who's 0 for 2, is the man at the plate, and he will be replaced. It's going to be old man David Wright coming out. He will pinch hit and stay in the game to play third base for Valbuena. David Wright will pinch hit here, and early in the season, David Wright was on fire. He supplanted Valbuena in the starting lineup for a good part, maybe of 10 games. Recently, Valbuena has been back in the lineup, but now David Wright is being called on here. He's 11 for 22 with 4 home runs is David Wright. A good bat to have coming off the bench. And now, with nobody out, David Wright, he gets the pitch. It's a 4-12. This is going to be a ground ball second base X. The second baseman is Kinsler. He's a very good range. He's a 1 range, a 115, and he's going to make the play look easy. So David Wright hit it hard, but hit it in the wrong spot, right to Ian Kinsler. And that'll be it for Boston in the 9th. We move to the bottom. And Chaz Rowe, will he continue? Yes, he will. He will continue against A.J. Ellis, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Tim Beckham. Warming in the bullpen is Bo Schultz. And they've got a lefty for Ellsbury down there as well. But Chaz Rowe continues after inning and 2/3 of a stellar outing. And A.J. Ellis bounces one to short. That is Jordy Mercer. And there's one away. So now the decision comes up of, what do we do? Chaz Rowe has pitched well. He's retired 6 straight. But with the lefty Jacoby Ellsbury up to the plate, who's already doubled and walked today, do they go get Chaz Rowe, knowing they only have one more righty other than the closer in the bullpen? Or do they let Jacoby Ellsbury hit off of him? I think they're going to roll with Chaz Rowe. Nice game here, says Jerry Ball. Yeah, it's been a pretty good one. This is a big decision here. Chaz Rowe will pitch to Jacoby Ellsbury. They're going to be careful with him. But Ellsbury is dangerous. And he's going to hit one hard straight up the middle. Jacoby Ellsbury will reach against Chaz Rowe. And now Ellsbury is aboard. And now you got to watch Ellsbury, who's an A stealer. We replaced the catcher of Cameron Rupp, who had a better arm than Stephen Vogt. Vogt has a 0 arm. So Ellsbury is a 1-15 runner. They are going to have to hold him. So it's a 1-13. Vogt has a 0 arm, so it's a 1-13 that Ellsbury could steal second. Tim Beckham hit a home run his last time up. A 2-run shot, which is why we're in this predicament here. And Boston answered right back in the 8th with the 2-run shot of their own. Would Jacoby Ellsbury steal to stay out of the double play? This is a tough decision, but he's not going. I usually decide, like, if it takes me more than, I don't know, 10-20 seconds to figure out if I want to do it, I probably err on the side of not doing it in this game. So Tim Beckham, he swings and misses and strikes out. Rowe's got his man, and there's 2 away. The 3rd strikeout now for Rowe. And it's up to Ben Revere. Revere is 0 for 3 with a walk today. Jacoby Ellsbury still sits at first. And with 2 outs, would he try and run out of the inning? It's still a 1-13 chance. That's a 65% chance. He's not going to do it. Even though me, the manager, really wants him to. I'm not going to do it. But Ben Revere now against Chaz Rowe. And this is a bouncer over to second. Jose Altuve, he looks it into his glove. And he will fire it to first. And that will end the bottom of the 9th. We're going to extras, boys. It's been a while since we've had an extra inning ball game. And Boston and Baltimore playing some free baseball here tonight. And I'm happy to bring it to you. So Brad Hand went 1-2-3 his last inning. Well, kinda. You got a double play. And he will continue here against Paulo Orlando, Stephen Vogt, and Colby Rasmus. Free baseball, boys. And Paulo Orlando dribbles one to short. And there's one away. Stephen Vogt now, the lefty catcher. And he's 0 for 1. He reached on an error his last time. And this time he will strike out. So handing it to Boston right now. It's too quickly away. And Colby Rasmus is the batter. He's 1 for 2 with a homer and a walk. Lefty on lefty here. And this is a 6-6. And Colby Rasmus, he's going to get a base hit. Will it get out into the gap? It will. So Colby Rasmus using his speed, and he'll be at second with a 2-out double. So Jordy Mercer now has the opportunity to drive in the go-ahead run. He's 0 for 3 on the day, and really has not had much of a bat all season. There's not much we can do about it, though. He's the only carded shortstop, I believe, on this Boston team. I'm just looking through, and yeah, so Jordy Mercer is going to have to hit for himself here. Looking to come up big against the lefty, Brad Hand. So Jordy Mercer, he skies one out to right, but Lorenzo Cain is going to have plenty of room, and he takes a few steps back and will make the play. So the 2-out double comes up for naught. And Boston can't get that run home. And it will be a 3-ball game as we move to the bottom of the 10th. Chaz Rowe has gone, what is that? 2 2/3 innings. 2 2/3 innings. So Chaz Rowe's arm is going to fall off, but so he's going to make way. Actually, you know what? He's going to try and get Kinsler. With the lefty of Murphy coming up, they're going to let him get Kinsler. So Rowe will pitch to Kinsler here. This is a ballpark single chance. A 1-8, and it's a single, and that squeezes through the right-hand side. And so Kinsler is aboard. A leadoff single will chase that will chase Chaz Rowe from the ball game. Rowe pitched well, but his arm just about fell off. And now they're going to have to go to a lefty. And it will be they've got Mark Marksberry, Aaron Thompson, and Justin Wilson. And so it will be Justin Wilson, the better of the three. So with nobody out here in the bottom of the 10th, the Boston manager going lefty-lefty, and Justin Wilson will take over. Chaz Rowe went 1, 2 1/3. He gave up only 2 hits, struck out 3, and didn't walk anybody. But he's responsible for that man out at first. And now Justin Wilson will face the lefty of Daniel Murphy. And Daniel Murphy hits one to second. Altuve has to go deep in the hole. His only play is going to be at first. And so he makes the play, but Kinsler advances to second. And so now there's a runner on scoring position. Thought about hit and running there. He's a B hit and run is Murphy. But Ian Kinsler makes it to second. And so Lorenzo Cain will be the batter. And that is going to be the one batter that Cain is going to face. With a man on second, they could go to Andres or Lorenzen, who are kind of the long men out of the bullpen. Or their only other righties are Bo Schultz or the closer, Jeremy Jeffress. I don't know that I want to go to Jeffress, so we're going to go get Bo Schultz. So Bo Schultz comes in. Justin Wilson had one job, and he didn't do it. Justin Wilson, he got an out, didn't he? But the runner advanced. And so now Schultz takes over. And he'll face Kane and maybe Carter. Alright, so Lorenzo Kane against Bo Schultz. It's a 5-9, and he swings and misses and strikes out. It's the second out of the inning. And now it'll be up to the strikeout king of Chris Carter. Will they let him hit? He's 0 for 3 on the day. And will they pull him back? Yes, they're going to pull him back and go to... No. Yeah, they will. They're going to go to the lefty of Josh Hamilton. So Chris Carter has been pulled out of the game, and Josh Hamilton is their big bopper off the bench, and they go to him now. So Hamilton against Schultz, 2 outs, man on second. Hamilton from the left-hand side, and he strikes out. So the Boston fans go wild as Schultz comes in and strikes out the 2 men that he faces. And we are through 10. We go to the 11th. It's a 3-3 ball game. Brad Hand, he's pitched in 2 innings. He's only given up 1 hit, and he will continue here for his 3rd inning. He will face Fowler, Altuve, and Panic, the top of the order. And from the right-hand side is Dexter Fowler, and he hits one to the shortstop, who is Tim Beckham. Beckham, I believe this is his first X-Chance. He's a 4-range shortstop. And a 4-range shortstop with a 6 is gonna squeeze past him. So Dexter Fowler is aboard to lead off the 11th inning here. Oh no, so Brad Hand gives off the leadoff single, and it will be Jose Altuve. And what do they do with Altuve? Let's look at the catcher arm. It's AJ Ellis, who's a -2. Fowler is a stealer, so they are holding him. So would they let Brad Hand pitch here? They really don't have any great right-handed options, so they will continue with Hand. And Jose Altuve, he's gonna hit and run with Fowler being held at first. Altuve is an A hit and run. An A10 is going to be a pop out to second base. So Jose Altuve pops out to second. Fowler has to scramble back to first, and he gets there in time to do so. And now it'll be Joe Panic, the lefty, with 3 straight lefties to face Brad Hand. So Fowler, if he were to try and steal, they are still holding him. It's a 1 to 15 -2. It's a 1 to 13 -2 more. 1 to 11. Panic is 0 for 3, but Dexter's not going anywhere. And maybe he should have. Panic hits one to Kinsler. Kinsler wheels and fires to Beckham. Beckham over to Swisher. And it's another 4-6-3 double play for Brad Hand. And the leadoff single is erased. And Boston can't score in the 11th. One of these times, they're going to pay for it. And so Bo Schultz comes back out for Boston. Brad Hand has been stellar for Baltimore. So Swisher, Ellis, and Ellsbury against Bo Schultz. Swisher is a left-handed batter against the righty Schultz, and Swisher draws a walk. So just like Boston, with a leadoff man aboard. And let's see, would we pinch run for Swisher? Nobody is very good off the bench. And so it'll be A.J. Ellis. Ellis is a C bunter. Would they be expecting the bunt? Yeah, they probably would, but he's going to do it anyway. So Ellis would become a D bunter. A D7 is batter is thrown out by first baseman, runners advance one base. So A.J. Ellis gets the bunt down, and that'll be the first out. But the runner Swisher moves to second. And so it'll be up to Jacoby Ellsbury with 2 outs. Swisher is at second. And now they will go and pinch run for Swisher. Jimmy Paredes will pinch run. Jimmy Paredes is a 1-13 runner. So with the man on second, Paredes will pinch run. And Jacoby Ellsbury is at the plate. 1 out. Ellsbury's at the plate. Bo Schultz is on the mound. And they're going to hold out 4 fingers and give Jacoby Ellsbury first base on an intentional walk. They're setting up the double play, and Tim Beckham will be the batter. Infield is back, looking to get out of this thing. And so Bo Schultz pitches to Tim Beckham, who's homered today. And this will be a ballpark single chance, a 1-8, and it's a single. That's a 12, so it's going to be snagged out of the air by the second baseman, Altuve. And there's 2 outs. So it'll be up to Ben Revere against Bo Schultz. And Schultz will continue here. 2 outs. Revere is at the plate. He's hitless on the game so far. And this one is hit right back to Schultz. He's going to squeeze it tightly. And he will toss it over to the first baseman. And we get more free baseball. We're through 11. Neither of these bullpens wants to give in. Baltimore and Boston continue here deep into the night. What a way to start game day 15 for the AL. Brad Hand set to face Chris Davis, Luis Valbuena, and Paulo Orlando. So Davis, he's 0 for 4 on the day. And here he swings right through a pitch. Didn't look comfortable at all versus Hand. And he strikes out. That is the second strikeout for Hand. And there's 1 out here in the top of the 12th. So David Wright with his second at-bat of the game. David Wright bounced out to second base his first time up. And this time he will strike out. So Hand has been pretty good. And now Paulo Orlando Paulo Orlando, it's a 1-12. He gets plunked by that pitch. He was 0 for 4 before that. He was standing on the home plate, basically. Gets hit by the pitch, and he may have to come out of the ball game. That's a 10, so he will. That's a 2-game injury for Paulo Orlando. He's out of this ball game, but he would have a pinch runner is going to have to go to first base. And that pinch runner will be Aaron Althor. Aaron Althor will run for Orlando and continue out in right field. And we have 2 outs, and Brad Hand will pitch to Stephen Vogt here. Althor is a pretty good runner. He's a B stealer, a 1-15 runner. And this will be lefty on lefty. It's a 1-10. Oh boy, this one could do it. It's a 1-4, and it's a double. That's a 6. A 6 is a single 2-star. So Althor, with his good speed, is going to make it to third. There's 2 outs, though. But Brad Hand might be wearing out here. And it'll be up to Colby Rasmus. So Hand is going to stick in to stay against Rasmus. Rasmus doubled against him his last lefty on lefty. But he will continue here. Men on first and third. Brad Hand. They have Felix Dubrant, who's a lefty as well, but they will continue here. Colby Rasmus. And this is his good column. It's a 2-7. Oh no, but he hits it. Chops it over to second. Kinsler is up with it. And he tosses it over to first. And unceremoniously, Boston leaves runners on the corners. We move to the bottom of the 12th. Schultz has been pretty good. And will he continue here? We've already used Rowe. I don't think they're going to have to go get Schultz. Schultz won't continue. It'll be Matt Andriese. So Matt Andriese will be the 5th pitcher used by Boston. And let me write down his numbers here. Schultz, he went 1 2/3. He didn't give up a hit. He struck out 2, and he walked 2. One of those intentional. But Matt Andriese will take over, and he'll face Ian Kinsler. Kinsler's 1 for 5. And this is a 2-11. And this one's popped up behind the catcher. And that will be Stephen Vogt, who pops up out of his crouch. And he will make the grab in foul ground. And there's the first out. Another opportunity by the wayside. Yeah, Boston they've left a lot of men on base. And now Daniel Murphy for Baltimore facing Andriese. And this is a grounder to second. That's Altuve. Altuve is a 2-range second baseman. A 2-2, 2-15 is going to be a nice play by Altuve. So it will be 2 outs. And Lorenzo Cain at the plate. And Kane to face Andres. And this one's hit to short. Jordy Mercer is the shortstop. He's a 3-range shortstop. A 310 is going to his E rating. He's an E10. We rolled a 7, so that's going to be a nice play from Mercer. And guess what? We've got more free baseball. And I'm going to have to take a timeout real quick. This game has gone extended innings, but my bladder has not. So hang on, and I'll be right back in 1 second to finish this one up. Boston at Baltimore. Alright, sorry guys. I went and got a drink as well. Okay, so we move to the top of the 13th. And Brad Hand is going to come off. They will go and get J.J. Hoover. J.J. Hoover will be only the third pitcher for Baltimore tonight. Hoover replacing Hand. And Hand went a long way. He went 1, 2, 3, 4 innings. Basically a start for Hand. Gave up 1, 2, 3 hits. No runs for Hand. He was a closed hand, and he struck out 3, and he walked 1. Okay, so Hoover takes over, and he'll face the 9-1-2 batters of Mercer, Fowler, and Altuve. Mercer, 0 for 4 on the day, and it'll be 0 for 5 as he lifts one out to left field, and Ben Revere is the man on the spot. Thanks for sticking with me here. Late night strat. We got Jerry, Ken, Higher Ground Gaming. I didn't see you jump in here. Thanks for coming in here, Higher Ground Gaming. Al. And anybody else I missed? Jerry, Al. You guys are staying up late. Dexter Fowler now hit the 2-run shot to tie this ball game up. He hits from the left-hand side now, and he draws a walk. So Fowler's been a pest. His last 3 at-bats, homered, singled, and now walked. And Jose Altuve again. Altuve has only had 1 hit today, 1 for 5. Fowler is being held. Altuve, though, is going to hit and run again. And so this is an A hit and run. A9. Ground ball to shortstop. Batter is safe. Leading runner is thrown out. So the hit and run doesn't work again. Keeps him out of the double play. Fowler gets thrown out by the shortstop. And Altuve replaces him on the bases. Altuve is at first. He's a double A stealer. And Joe Panic is 0 for 4 on the day with a walk. So they are holding Altuve. So it'd be a 1 to 17 minus 2. It's a 1 to 15 minus 2 more is a 1 to 13. And a 1 to 13. And will Altuve break for second? He will not. Joe Panic is swinging away. It's a 1-4, and he dribbles one out to Hoover. Hoover picks it up, and that'll be the end of the inning. Boston once again squanders runners on base. And we move to the bottom of the 13th. This is the last inning on my score sheet. I think we've only had this happen once before where I've had to start writing numbers elsewhere. So Josh Hamilton is the batter, and he's followed by Paredes and A.J. Ellis. And it will be Matt Andriese, the pitcher. He had a 1-2-3 inning his first inning, and he will continue here against Josh Hamilton. Hamilton struck out his first time up, and this time he flies one over to center, where the center fielder is Dexter Fowler. He's a 3-range center fielder, 312. He's going to his E rating. He's an E4, and we rolled an 11. So an E4 with an 11. Oh no, Dexter Fowler kind of trips out in the outfield. The ball scoots past him, and Josh Hamilton is going to be aboard on a 2-base error by Dexter Fowler. Oh no, that may be costly. Andriese will now face Jimmy Paredes, his first at bat. He came in and pinch ran for the injured
Nick Swisher. No, he wasn't injured. They just pinch ran for him because he was at second. It looks like Al Red Sox fan is having a good game in his game he's got going in the chat as well. Paredes is a switch hitter. He's sitting in from the left-hand side. This is a 3-7. 3-7 is going to be a bouncer over to first base. Chris Davis is going to grab it, but the only play he's going to have is to be at first. And so with one out, the runner, Josh Hamilton, advances to third. So this is as close as anybody's gotten to scoring here in extras. Paredes moves the runner over to third. And now A.J. Ellis the only bat we have on the bench is the backup catcher, Kevin Plawecki. So Ellis is going to have to hit here. A.J. Ellis, they're bringing the infield in. They've got to try and cut that run off. There's one out. Ellis has a single today. And Matt Andrees, this is a fly ball out to left field. Left field B. That's going to be deep enough. The runner, Hamilton, tags, and he will score. A.J. Ellis with a sac fly out to left. And that will end the ball game. A sac fly from Ellis out into left field. And Baltimore comes up with the big victory here in the 13th inning. They push a run across off of an error from Dexter Fowler that was the killer. So Baltimore takes this one in a surprising fashion. They gave up the lead in the 8th off a 2-run homer, but then all the way in the 13th they claw across a run, and they are the victors today. They move to 8-6. Boston moves to 9-5. This is a 4-3 ball game. And boy, this was a fun one. I know everybody in the chat was rooting for Boston, but they had their chances and just squandered them. So Hoover, looks like, yeah, Hoover will get the win. Although Brad Hand was pretty effective. Hoover went 1 inning. He gave up no hits, no runs. He struck out nobody, and he walked 1. Hoover gets the win. Andrees will take the loss. Andrees goes 1 2/3. He gives up no hits, no earned run, or excuse me, 1 run, no earned runs. He didn't strike anybody out, and he didn't walk anybody. So Dexter Fowler giveth with a 2-run shot to tie it up in the 8th, and he taketh away with a 2-base error for the leadoff man, Josh Hamilton, in the 13th. And that is going to do it. I will post this scorecard on my Twitter page at RNGIDP_strat. I really, I say it every night, but man, being able to stick with this game, this is about 1 hour and 40 minutes that you guys have stuck with me here. And I'm super appreciative of it. Higher Ground Gaming, Ken Castro, Al Red Sox fan, Jerry Ball. You guys have been great tonight, keeping that live chat rolling. For all of you that watch this after the fact, a big salute to you as well. Make sure you leave a thumbs up before you close out of this video. Really helps me out, and you guys have been doing a great job of that, so I appreciate that. Happy Strat opening day to all of you. We will talk again soon, maybe tomorrow. But as for me, I am toast. So have a good night, and take care, guys. Appreciate you.